This week on Inside Boulder News, Vice President Biden visits CU-Boulder, Boulder wins a prestigious Night Cities Challenge grant, and Baseline Road will have a new underpass by the end of the year. Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Ashley Prill. Vice President Biden made a visit to Boulder last week to help change the conversation about sexual assault on college campuses.
From the president of the university, the dean of students, to coaches, to students themselves, everyone has a responsibility to speak out because we have to change the culture on campus, and it starts. But it's on us.
He talked to CU students about the It's On Us campaign, which aims to shift the focus of sex assault prevention. It should not be about victims preventing themselves from being assaulted by wearing more modest clothing or watching their drinks. Instead, he said we need to focus on people committing the assaults and preventing these crimes by getting bystanders involved.
I pledge to intervene in situations where consent cannot or has not been given.
For CU, the event was a great opportunity to support current outreach and education efforts.
I would say I'm grateful, to have the opportunity to just have another, especially the context of that and the scope to get that message out there, to continue to prioritize this, to really encourage people to report, but most importantly to really get the support they need. We always talk about really the best sort of trauma-informed way to do this is to make sure that they have confidential support services, counseling through our Office of Victim Assistance, Moving to End Sexual Assault, where they really have their, needs met, any kind of, emotional, physical, medical, all that, and then report to us because we really, couldn't address a potential perpetrator without that report. So I just can't emphasize that enough.
Last fall, CU conducted its very first sexual misconduct survey, which revealed that 28% of women had experienced some form of sexual assault during their time in the undergraduate program.
Well, what we know is we finally have a benchmark, and so what the benchmark is in October, November of last year, we asked all of our students, undergrad and graduates, and we got a response rate of about 41%, so roughly 13,000 students who took this survey. And they were asked, have you experienced some form of sexual misconduct? So keep in mind that the sexual misconduct survey includes sexual assault, but it's not just sexual assault. So it would be retaliation, what I was talking about before, retaliation, intimate partner abuse, so dating or domestic violence, stalking, harassment, exploitation, but of course sexual assault as well. And so also keep in mind that sexual assault can be anything from non-consensual touch, catching you off guard, in a sexual way, those kinds of things, all the way to intercourse or penetration. So sexual assault is really a broad category. And so in terms of what we do know that as in terms of the survey respondents, 15% of the total respondents reported some form of sexual assault. And that means that they experienced some sexual assault, and that could be on campus, it could be off campus, but while they were a student at CU-Boulder. And so that's sort of the big takeaway.
CU will be releasing additional data from the sexual misconduct survey in June. See results and learn more about CU's efforts to combat sexual assault online. Thanks to a $200,000 grant from the Night Cities Challenge, members of Boulder's homeless community will learn how to turn trees impacted by the emerald ash borer into products that will be sold at the farmers market and other locations. Out of thousands of applications, Tree Debris to Opportunity is one of 37 programs across the country chosen for funding.
For more than a year, or almost a year now, Kathleen, our city forester, and I have been talking to the community about this infestation, which is clearly going to affect 11% of our trees over the next 8 years. That's just the public trees, and about 15% of all residential trees. Dealing with a quarantine yard like that was not a sustainable solution to just have it sitting there. So while this isn't going to tackle that entire amount of debris, it's another example of how we can address a social problem. I feel like it's innovative because it takes things that would otherwise be things to complain about and turns them into the best story that is very, very Boulder.
To implement the program, the city is teaming up with the Bridge House and the Library Makerspace.
So at Ready to Work, we're really committed to creating a variety of job training opportunities and job opportunities for people transitioning back into the workforce. And anything that we can do to increase someone's skill level and employability, we really get excited about. And something like woodworking and carpentry, those are real trades that people can leverage, for higher paying jobs, more career-oriented work. So we're really excited to be a part of that.
Since the grant was just announced, there's still quite a bit of planning to do before the program begins. In addition to training homeless individuals, there will be some spots available for other community members who want to learn this trade. For the latest updates, visit eabboulder.org. On Monday, April 25th, construction will begin on the Baseline Road Underpass project. The underpass will replace the existing crosswalk and pedestrian signal, which will increase connectivity to multi-use paths.
Since 1989, the City of Boulder has identified an underpass as a needed improvement at this location and has been putting a series of interim solutions in place until we could get funding for an underpass. Now, one of the reasons why this was identified as needing an underpass is because it ranked within the top 15 of crash locations between motor vehicles and pedestrians and bicyclists across the city. So that was the primary driver, providing this safe, efficient crossing across Baseline Road. Since the pedestrian signal has been put in place, this mid-block crossing is no longer in that top 15. However, the intersections at 27th Way to the east and Broadway to the west have come up onto the list. So what we're seeing is we provided something of an interim solution here, but there's still a lot of pedestrian and bike safety concerns in the area. We believe that this underpass, through the design and the connectivity it provides, will address that safety concern.
The project is being funded through the Federal Highway Administration, Colorado Department of Transportation, and the City of Boulder.
So the City of Boulder will be contributing $500,000 to the project, but they were able to win a transportation improvements grant from the Denver Regional Council of Governments. And so they, through that grant, received over $4 million towards the project costs. And then the Colorado Department of Transportation is contributing $800,000.
This is a busy part of town, and there will be some impacts while the project is underway. During construction, 2 lanes of eastbound traffic and 1 lane of westbound traffic will be maintained.
During off-peak hours, that's after 8:30 in the morning and before 3:30 in the afternoon, there will be single lane closures to accommodate the construction work that's happening. The multi-use paths on both the north and south side of Baseline Road will stay open. They may have detour routes, but there will be pedestrian and bike facilities off-street available throughout construction. The on-street bike lane will have to close and bikes will need to merge with traffic. We'll also be maintaining access to the Basemar shopping area to the south during construction with some temporary detours. Bus stops will be relocated outside of the work zone, but they won't be closed. They'll stay open during construction as well.
For more information and to sign up for the project email list, visit baselineroad.net. Construction impacts will also be posted to boulderconezones.net. Flash floods can happen at any time in Boulder with little or no warning, and it's important to be prepared. On Thursday, April 21st, all City of Boulder water customers are invited to a free seminar on how to reduce flooding risks in and around your home.
So we're going to have industry experts or subject matter experts in the areas of sump pumps, in insurance, both kind of general insurance as well as specific for flood insurance. We'll also have a general contractor there that has done a lot of flood recovery work, who is very knowledgeable about home maintenance items that will cover some of that information, as well as kind of general drainage and landscaping understanding. Folks that attend the seminar will get really hands-on practical advice for things that they can do in their home, or to be able to understand some of the systems that are in their home that they'll be able to take back and either be able to make simple changes or improvements, or have the knowledge to be able to go out and hire a contractor to be able to do some work to be able to make their home more resilient from flood and drainage issues.
For information on all things flood safety and to register for the event, visit boulderfloodinfo.net. Also on April 21st, the city is hosting an open house to explore how Boulder's transportation system is being improved to meet safety and sustainability goals. The Complete Streets open house will provide an opportunity to learn more about specific projects which have design and construction impacts in 2016.
Some of the projects that you can learn about and provide input on include the East Arapahoe Transportation Plan, the Canyon Complete Streets Plan. Those are both corridor studies that are underway in our community. Other projects that will be featured at the open house include the Renewed Vision for Transit and our Boulder Walks program. So we're looking at all the ways that we are trying to improve efficiency and safety for walking, biking, using transit, or driving in our community. You can also learn about the findings from the ongoing pilot project along Folsom Street and other Living Lab projects. The key findings, including the qualitative feedback we've received from the community on the pilot projects for the Living Lab, are helping to inform the Complete Streets programs and projects moving forward. One of the things that we've learned is how important community engagement process is, and ensuring that our community has many forums to provide input and learn about the project, as well as help to guide the next steps of these projects.
The Complete Streets Open House will be held from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Boulder Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter by submitting news tips and questions. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe.